a favorite book when you were a child?
I think in my childhood, I did pretty much studying. The books I was associated with were pretty much of my studies, and I do not have a habit of reading other books like novels or stories. But I think I have read only one book in my childhood, and I will tell you which book that was. And my sister did English, and she told us a story about some novel, Oedipus Rex. So the story really, I think, impressed me. So there is only one novel that I've read in my entire life. It is Oedipus Rex. So in my childhood, I wasn't pretty much, I think, into reading. But if you say so, that this book would be my favorite one.
How much reading do you do for your studies?
I think really good, really much, because I am a topper myself in my studies, so I have to study much and I have to read a lot. And in our education system, it's pretty much learning a lot of things from our textbooks. So I think I used to read about 7 to 8 hours daily during my exams, and I think. This is the thing that I'm really proud of, because I think I can take a lot of work and I am a really good absorber.
What kinds of books do you read for pleasure?
As I told you in my previous answer, that I do not have a habit of reading books, and because my habit is to watch movies and shows, English movies and shows, and since my childhood, I think. My studies and my teachers and my parents didn't really, I think, made reading my habit. So that's why I do not have pretty much experience in reading, and I was really only associated with my studies, the books that I had in my course.
Do you prefer to read a newspaper or a magazine online, or to buy a copy?
I think my preference would be a newspaper. My grandfather used to read newspapers daily, so he really encouraged me to read newspapers, because they thought it is really, I think, important for an individual to have a knowledge about their country, what is going on in their country. And my preference, I haven't read pretty much, I think, too much magazines in my life, but I have read newspapers even in English as well, because in my house everybody was a nerd, and my sister was a nerd as well, and she had dawn newspapers in her closet, so I used to I think go and read newspapers.
Thank you. That is the end of part 1. Now part 2. In part 2, you have to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You can make some notes to help you if you wish. Your topic is describe a big city you would like to visit. You should say which big city you would like to visit, how you would travel there, and what you would do there, and explain why you would like to visit this big city. I'm going to turn the screen towards you. You have the pen and the paper with you, you can make the notes. So here we go. Pause to listen. Okay, part 2, are you ready? Start now, please.
Okay, I think the city that I would love to visit is New York, because I think since my childhood, as my half of my family is in US, so I think since my childhood I've read I think stories, and I've watched films about New York, and how well New York is, how beautiful it is, and I think about its architecture, the Times Square that people really love to visit. So I think that is my dream, to go and visit there, and I am really in the process of that, because I am doing IELTS and I plan to go abroad for higher education. And I think my good luck is that I have a brother there. He doesn't live in New York, but he lives in Maryland, and he went to New York a couple of times, and he also, he likes to tease me, he likes to make me jealous, and he would send me about videos of New York, and wandering around Times Square and stuff like that. So I told him that I said you had to rely on some person who was a citizen of USA to go there. Then I am going to come there on my own basis. That is why from the really beginning, my plan was to go for higher education in USA. And my family and my relatives really told me that it's a really hard country to get in, and I think you should go for Australia or you should go for Canada. They are pretty much easy to get in. But I said no. That from the really beginning, I really loved New York, and I think even the people, my cousins there, that telling me that it's a really expensive city to live in, and but I told them that whenever I come there and whenever I get the chance, I will make sure that I live in New York and wander about the streets of New York, living my life. So I think that is on the top of my list is New York, the city I would love to visit. And I also have a couple of countries in my list that I would love to visit. I haven't been, I think, to really much. I traveling in the past, as I'm not a big traveler, but I have this tendency that I'm really fond of traveling and seeing a lot of things, I think new people. I would love to meet new people, new culture, new traditions, new things that I would go for. So I think yes, the New York is on the top, and I hope that this really my mind comes to.
Very well, that is the end of part 2. We are now heading to part 3. In part 3, I am going to ask you a question about visiting cities on holiday. Part 3, first question. What are the most interesting things to do while visiting cities on holiday?
I think it really depends on the person that you are visiting in the city. If you are going for just a holiday, then you have to, I think, stay in the hotel. But if you are visiting relatives, then I think it's a really great fun to go to another city, to another, I think, area to meet your loved ones and have fun with them. So I think it's a really great feeling. I myself haven't been able to experience much of that, but in the future I hope to do, because I have a lot of relatives in other cities, but I hadn't got any opportunity to go and meet them.
Why can it be expensive to visit cities on holiday?
I think it really depends on the person or the family. If you have someone there that you are going to visit, then you can really live with them if they are close relatives. But at the end of the day, if you do not have, so you have to go and book some hotels, and you will have to, I think, spend on your food, your living there. If you are visiting some other, I think, monuments of that city, some special places of that city, then yes, I think you need a really big budget to visit some other city.
Do you think it is better to visit cities alone or in a group of friends?
I think it really depends on the person you are. If you're an introvert, then I think it's. I think for introverts, they like to travel. They like to do everything alone. So, but if you're a family person, that you have family or friends or siblings, that I think I prefer to be in a group. If I travel somewhere to be with a friend or my family, but I'm comfortable with my friends. But if I get a chance to go somewhere to some other cities or even some other country with my family, I would love to go there, because I think it's a really great feeling and it's a really great adventure.
Now talk about the growth of cities. My question to you, why have cities increased in size in recent years?
I think the cities that are really in much of a trend right now, like Lahore is a really popular city in the world. You can see Karachi in our country is very popular because it's I think the biggest city in our country. I think the more people are moving into these cities because of the poverty that they had to face in, I think, in villages, and find some job opportunities like other cities. I think I will talk about my cities. So I think Lahore is really expanding, and the population of Lahore is really, I think, rising, because a lot of people are migrating to Lahore in search of job opportunities, and I think from villages to make their lives better.
What are the challenges created by ever-growing cities?
It's a tough question. Allow me a moment to think. Please come again.
What are the challenges created by ever-growing cities?
I think the first challenge that people of these cities face is the ever-growing population. As you can see, the population of Lahore is rising day by day. So people are really getting, I think, difficult. The living is really getting difficult these days. There are not much products in the stores. There are not much. I think, given the state of our country right now. I think if the amount of products, the food, the clothes are really in the I think less amount than the people are required. So I think the first challenge would face the need of people are rising and the products are not very much into the market, along with other I think consequences of this issue.
In what ways do you think cities of the future will be different to cities today?
Well, I personally believe that the governments are doing something about this ever-growing population ratio of our countries, and they're really, I think, dividing the parts of our cities. In Lahore, the area like Bahria town or the area like Shadra, they are really creating these areas separate to I think divide the population. And I think in the future, well, in my opinion, these cities will remain pretty much the same, but there will be some changes in case of they will divide the areas to divide the population to I think release of the stress of the need that people really have these days.
Thank you very much. That is the end of your exam.